This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutra.com, whole family nutrition.
And that's another thing we've gotten so far away from. Like if you go to a doctor and you're sitting in that little robe that's tied in the back and you're feeling all kind of cold and shivery in their air conditioning, they don't ask you any questions about exercise. They rarely ask you any questions about vitamins or supplements. You know, the whole thing is just this weird abstract in my mind. It's not real. It's not like, Dave, who are you? And you know, what's your lifestyle like? Yeah. And how many meals do you average? And how many poops a day do you have? And I actually ask all those questions in my intake because you have to. Because if we don't catch that stuff and address it, then that person's going to not get their goals met in my care. So it's critical that we look at that. And I just tell them the truth. Okay, well, your goals are great, but if we don't get you moving, we're not going to get there. So I just tell them the truth. If you don't move your body, you're not going to get to those goals. If you don't get outside, and I've had people argue with me about the sun, really argue vehemently about if you don't get outside and get at least 20, 30 minutes of sunlight on your body a day, you may not thrive through flu season, and then they want to argue about that. But the reality is, no, that's really how you do it. That's how you do it. Yeah. So it's an exciting time for you, I'm sure, to be doing this show where you get to bring all these different talents together and really help your audience see what's possible, what's different. You know, we need people to follow. We don't always want to be thinking of ourselves as followers, but thank goodness someone else has already broken the ice a few times on this stuff. This is not new. This has been going on. You know, people have been supplementing now for nearly 50 years.
And that's the most encouraging part for me is that this isn't new stuff. We just
not at all.
We just need to like get it out into the open. It's just there's this peer pressure thing that just
there is a peer pressure.
It's like a blanket covering everything, like a heavy blanket.
Very dark, dense blanket.
It's the same thing I was hearing. You mentioned Zach Bush to me, and I've been researching him too. He mentioned the same thing is happening with physicians not knowing about clinical nutrition. Well, the same thing is happening for the farmers with GMO, because in these areas where these huge farming areas in the Midwest, well, all the farmers know each other, and what happens is they're all using GMO crops. Now, if one of them decides to go to natural agriculture, that person is ostracized. And so most people don't do it because they're afraid of the peer pressure of the other farmers in town.
Yeah, that's why in India they had to run all the GMOs out all at once. And mostly the women mobilized because their husbands were already dead from suicide, by the way, because they had failed their crops. And they ran them out because they saw their demise right around the corner.
And I think one of the reasons this is actually the case is like we're acting like, oh, these other farmers are trying to drive them out. Well, actually, it's the owners of the glyphosate, because what happens is they buy hundreds of thousands of acres, and then they ask farmers to come and live on the property to rent it out and to farm that area, but they have to use their seeds. So
they have to use their seeds.
It comes from the very top. And this is what I love about Zach Bush. He's taking 5 million GMO acres with his Farmers Footprint initiative and converting it to regenerative agriculture.
Yes.
It's so exciting.
It's so exciting.
But
it's
we got to break
that
stigma.
We have to.
Pressure, the high school BS. It's like going on the top levels of things.
It's such BS, and it's such a con job. I mean, listen. If I'm in a car accident and I've got a severe laceration on my thigh, I want AMA, I want EMS, I want AMA, I want surgeons, I want whatever they got.
Definitely.
They are awesome at crisis intervention. They have nothing on how to thrive. They have nothing on how to regenerate organs and glands, which good clinical nutrition, expects to be able to do that. They have nothing on how to reverse the aging process. They're limited by the scope of their training. We can cut, we can burn, and we can drug, and that's what we can do.
Thank you for joining us for the Healthy and Family Show. Visit our website at healthyandfamily.com. That's healthyandfamily.com to see what all the other doctors, experts, and real moms have to say about keeping your whole family healthy. This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutra.com, whole family nutrition, and aired on the Goldstone Network. People, planet, future.